With most of the market roaring again today, at what point do we need to start wondering if the high-growth tech stocks that have been hit really hard lately have been punished enough? Take Luxoft, LXFT. That's a high-end information technology service provider that helps its clients create custom software programs tailored to their specific needs, including everything from trading software for the banks to major tech themes like big data, connected cars, Internet of Things. This stock has fallen more than 35% just since the beginning of 2016, in part because of the recent sell-off in growth tech names, and in part because the company reported last week and the quarter was widely viewed as being less than stellar. Luxoft missed Wall Street's earnings estimates by 10 cents off of an 82-cent basis. Its revenues came in a bit light, even as they grew at a fabulous 18% clip year over year. A lot of the weakness here has to do with worries that the problems with the banks will spill over and hurt Luxoft, which makes software for many of the financials. I think the sellers may be misunderstanding the relationship. Luxoft stock is now down more than 30 points from its highs, trading just 16 times next year's earnings estimates, despite having an 18.5% long-term growth rate, which would seem to make the stock very cheap. Is the story being misunderstood? Let's take a closer look with Dmitry Loshinin. He's the president and CEO of Luxoft Holding. Find out more about his company and where it's headed. Mr. Loshinin, welcome to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, sir, I'm wondering whether your company hasn't been caught up in the notion that everyone was paying too much for every single software company, and now they've decided to simply just pay too little, because you have indeed exceeded every goal that you set out when you came public.
This is true, and I believe Luxoft today is one of the most misunderstood stocks. We fell 7% today on no business news when, all market was growing. There was a consequence of events, but I still really don't understand the reason for that stock performance. While business is, as strong as never, the momentum is there. Our key verticals keeps growing. Our key accounts keeps growing. So interesting development.
Now,
I've been buying today, by the way.
You were buying?
Yeah.
In the open market, you personally. Can I ask you how much you bought?
Enough.
Enough. All right. That implies a goodly amount, sir. Now, one of the things that's happened is that when we read that Deutsche Bank may have problems, what we do is we very quickly say, okay, who does business with Deutsche Bank? Because they'll be doing less business. Oh, Luxoft. Let's sell Luxoft. Why is that reasoning maybe ill-advised?
Well, as you can see, most of the financial industry, the whole industry is in a change mode. All banks are going through massive transformation. Deutsche is not an exception. It's probably the most advanced, in changing the business and trying to survive. IT being the core of the business is actually the main source of innovation and improvement. And we are being one of the biggest supplier over there. So again, change the bank is our, key competence. And as long as there is a change in there, we will benefit.
Now, you're also moving pretty aggressively into some very big growth areas like autos. What do you do for Ford, for instance? So far, we've been very active in the so-called cockpit space, so doing navigation, connectivity, HMI, all kinds of HMI features, from digital cluster to traditional HMI, moving into the advanced driver assistant features, as well as features for autonomous driving. Today, we see lots of opportunities, so-called under the hood space. And going forward, the back end and all cloud services is definitely a huge opportunity for the entire industry. And also for telecommunications, we've had Palo Alto Networks on repeatedly. We have said over and over again, it is the finest cybersecurity company. And we know that they wouldn't do business with someone they couldn't trust. So what do you do for Palo Alto Networks?
Well, we in the telecom space, we both do wireless and LAN, work for the providers. Currently, we see lots of opportunities in so-called software-defined networks, where carriers and the entire industry is migrating from traditional legacy type of setup to the cloud, optimizing the cost, minimizing the transactional costs.
And I just want to circle back again because I know Credit Suisse is a customer, and a lot of people feel that banks have to cut back. Isn't your part of what the banks spend the part that they really either can't or aren't allowed to cut off?
Well, again, we are part of, we have very active and important part of Change the Bank. So, and today, what most banks are doing, they rationalize their IT setup, trying to minimize the amount of systems they have to support going forward. This is number one. The second big trend is everything related to reporting, to comply with all of the new standards. And number three is the whole digital notion. So all of that is deep pockets. Credit Suisse is not an exception. They are undertaking this large transformational effort. And again, we see lots of opportunities for us.
Excellent. All right, I want to thank Dmitry Lushinin. He is the CEO of Luxoft Holdings, which one of our viewers asked about. And I think the stock has gotten a little too cheap. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on Mad Money.
Thank you very much.
Got to do your own homework. Does seem like the stock is a little bit oversold here, and he's buying. Luxoft Holdings. Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.